guys, and welcome back to another video of ECK Sports, and today I am back at it with another video, and this time I'm going to be doing a video about Nick Saylor and why he should be winning the MVP, and it's not just about hitting or pitching. Go down, hit that big red subscribe button, and of course leave a like on the video. Both help me out a ton. Hopefully the comment section is on, but if it is, then please leave a comment. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So first, let's start with the hitting. Nick is one of the most prolific hitters in the league right now. As I said after the 2020 season, I have never seen somebody who has the traits and overall talent that Nick Saylor does on the hitting side. He can hit any pitch that is thrown. Risers, sliders, drops, screws, slider drops, and knuckle drops. We've seen him hit all those pitches, which is incredible. Most guys are only good at like hitting one pitch, but the fact that Nick Saylor hits the three main pitches, that being riser, slider, drop, that is insane. That's how you know how amazing Nick Saylor is. He also has one of the most smooth swings in the league, and he's also a righty. No disrespect to any of the righties out there, but usually when we talk about players in baseball or football having the smoothest swings, you usually talk about the lefties. So the fact that he probably has the smoothest swing in the entire league as a righty, that's pretty impressive. He's able to hit a home run at any time off of any pitcher, off of any pitch, at any inning, any game, any series, like anything. He was tied for first in home runs this year with 11 in the 2021 regular season, and even got 6 more in the postseason. When the Wildcats needed Saylor at the plate, he was there every single time. Whether it's to break a game open, do further damage to a team, or hit a clutch homer to win a game, Saylor does it all. And that is so pivotal in close games, in playoffs, and even important regular season games. Saylor is very important to this Wildcat squad. And by the way, Nick Saylor has hit a home run in his 2-year career off all 7 of the races, and then all 6 number 2 arms that he has faced, besides Dallas, but he's never had an at-bat against Dallas. So basically, the 13 out of the 14 pitchers that he is going to face this season, he has hit a home run off of. And that is in 2 years. 2 years of hitting, and you hit at least 1 home run off 13 main pitchers in the league. I don't even know if there's another player that's done that in the last 2 years. I mean, Saylor is just Saylor. A lot of people just think of him as a guy that just hits home runs, but that could not be further from the truth. Last year he hit 333, and in 2020 he hit 322, which shows he's not just a power guy. He can make contact with the ball and hit the ball well. In terms of overall talent, I think Saylor is by far the best hitter in the league. Norp is great. Robles is really good. Kyle Schultz is great, but Saylor is the best. Now let's talk about the pitching. Every one of us knows how great Saylor is at hitting. What a lot of us don't really understand is about his pitching. I especially want to look at the evolution of his pitching from the start of his career to now. His arsenal hasn't really changed much, but a lot of other stuff has. If you look at the way Saylor pitched in 2020, he used a slightly different arm motion than he did in 2021, and now he wasn't terrible in 2020, but often he left the pitch right where the batter could hit it, right over the plate, and he wasn't really missing speeds or movement or anything like that. The lowest point in his pitching career was his appearance against the Mallards in 2021. He was throwing the slowest that he had ever been throwing. His pitches were not moving at all, and he just didn't look good on the mound. But ever since then, he has been a completely different pitcher. He looked solid against the Magic and Cobras, starting to get more movement on speed. But again, there was one main question. Why doesn't he get crushed? Why don't people hit him really well? He throws slow, he doesn't have much of an arsenal, and he doesn't have that much movement. I guess we'll never know the answer to that question. And then after that, he threw 3 straight shutouts in a row against the Eagles, Predators, and Magic, and started to show off a new knuckleball that he threw. His riser was on point, he wasn't giving up any walks, and he didn't do too badly against the Diamondbacks of the World Series, having a 2 ERA and 2 starts against them. Then in 2022, in opening day, he looked like an ace. We saw him put everything together. When he started in 2021, it had come all together. Saylor had another different windup, and he was trying out a couple different windups to confuse the hitters. He was very accurate and had lots of movement on his riser and even his knuckleball, and got 16 strikeouts in 2 games. The max strikeouts you can get in 2 games that don't go to extra innings is 18 strikeouts, and he got 16. That is very impressive if you ask me. And if you just looked at the film, he genuinely looked comfortable out there, and that's really important. With more speed, movement, mixing up speeds and windups, and he still kept his control while doing all that is outstanding. A lot of guys, when they add speed or movement or more pitches, they start to lose control. Not Nick Saylor. I wouldn't quite jump the gun and say that he's the Wildcats ace, but he is definitely close. I would not be shocked to see him starting game 1 next series. A lot of us thought last year that there's no way Nick could be an ace in this league because of a lot of the stuff I said earlier with the speeds, but he clearly showed that he could be the ace, and he did really, really well against the Diamondbacks. He had a .5 ERA against the second best offense in the league. That shows Nick Saylor can be and is an ace in MLW. Now we might think, well, if he's an ace, teams will start to figure him out because they get to see him more. Look, teams have tons of film on him, guys. Like, pitching another game, like, I know you can see him more, but I don't really know if that's going to affect anything. I think it's really time to start thinking of Saylor as a real ace in this league. And now, the real reason why I made this video, thing that I realized a couple days ago, and the real reason why Saylor is the MVP of 2022, Nick Saylor saved the Western Wildcats. When you're looking for a real MVP, right, you look for hitting and pitching, but obviously I've already covered that. Nick Saylor saved the Wildcats from years of losing and ending the dynasty. Not only did he save the dynasty, but he could have saved Kyle's entire legacy. No disrespect to Kyle or anything, because Kyle's a fantastic football player, as we all know. We might not look at him the same. If the Wildcats don't have Saylor in 2020, there's no doubt Kyle would have still been able to carry the Wildcats to some extent, because if you remember, he had a .6 ERA, which is elite. So he still would have been able to somewhat carry the Wildcats with his arm. He still had 8 home runs, about 20 RBI, so he was still doing really well on his own. So the Wildcats still wouldn't be terrible because Kyle would really carry them. Without Saylor, the Wildcats probably win 7 games just because of Kyle's arm. Definitely don't make the World Series. They probably still make the playoffs, but they definitely don't make it to the World Series. Well, Kyle was great on the mound. Without Saylor to help the hitting, a lot of those wins that Saylor gave them would turn into losses. For instance, Gators game 1, Saylor hit a walk-off. Who knows? If Saylor doesn't hit that walk-off, maybe the Gators end up winning. You have that game 3 against the Magic. Saylor hits a go-ahead home run. Maybe if the game keeps going along, maybe the Magic win. You never know. Or you look at Diamondbacks Wildcats game 1. Saylor hit the walk-off home run. If Saylor doesn't hit that walk-off, then, Kyle was a little wild. What if the Diamondbacks win that game? That's 3 games right there. They won 10 games. I'm not saying they lose all those games, but that's just what I'm trying to say. And it's not just those 3 games. Without Nick in 2020, they probably just win 7 games. And now fans look at the Wildcats and say, okay, 2 years in a row, Wildcats have a losing record and the dynasty is over. Now, of course, the Wildcats would have drafted somebody in 2020, so let's just give them kind of like an average to above average player like Brendan Russell. I would obviously still give them Jaxen Pearson for 2021 because they drafted him, but still the Wildcats are not going to be as good. Kyle in 2021 was giving up a lot of homers on the mound, and, people were starting to hit him a lot better than 2020. And the second pitching wouldn't be nearly as good without Saylor. It would probably be Jaxen Pearson as the secondary pitcher. He would have not been as good as Saylor. I think he can even agree with that. Once again, without Saylor, you're looking at a 6 to 7 win season. At this point, it's 3 years of losing records, and now the dynasty is officially over, and Kyle's legacy is not as good. I know you might disagree with this selection of how I said it and everything, but you have to understand, Nick Saylor saved the Western Wildcats. That's the real reason why he is the MVP in the 2022 MLW season. Not just because of pitching and hitting. MVP, most valuable player. Nick Saylor, very valuable. I know a lot of people would say he's not the most valuable player, basically an equal player to him by his side. You're not thinking about it correctly. Nick Saylor saved the Western Wildcats. And now I'm going to put everything together. You have a guy who is the most talented hitter in MLW history, and who is the best hitter in MLW right now. Then you add on that he's an ace quality pitcher, he saved his team from having years and years of losing records. I mean, that is the real definition of an MVP, especially in wiffle ball. For a wiffle ball MVP, you look for a really good pitcher, a really good hitter, and a guy who really contributes to his team. Saylor checks all 3 boxes. After you think about all that, how could Saylor not be the MVP? He's also extremely consistent at all of that, as of course a hitter and a pitcher, and just an overall player, which is of vital importance in wiffle ball and really any sport. Thank you guys for watching, and if you did enjoy, make sure you guys hit that like button, that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.